This is Roger with iGadget Geek. Today I'm going to show you my AT&T Galaxy Note 4. Now this isn't going to be your traditional kind of unboxing or quick review. I've had this phone for about a week, so I just kind of want to show you my personal setup to what I do to get the most out of the Galaxy Note 4. There's a lot of reviews out there on the Note 4, so what I wanted to do is something a little different. I wanted just to kind of show you the way that I set my Galaxy Note 4 up for my personal use. Of course, we've seen the box. It's pretty much just a standard AT&T box. We'll get that out of the way. Now, one of the really cool features I do like on the actual Galaxy Note 4 is that adaptive fast charge. So that is a really cool feature. It allows you to rapidly charge your Note 4. And gone is that funky micro USB 3 charge port thing. We've gone back to kind of a standard micro USB and a USB 2. Now this is a little bit different. This has the pieces needed for that adaptive quick charge. So let's go ahead and get that out of the way, and I'll show you here my black or charcoal Galaxy Note 4. They call this the charcoal black. It kind of has that fake leather or soft touch finish on the back, and this is of course an aluminum bezel all the way around the edge, but it does have kind of a unique coating here. So if you look closely here, you can see we have kind of a chamfered edge, and then right along here is kind of a flat charcoal finish. I'm not quite sure what that's made out of. It's not just the pure aluminum, because if you look right here where the seams are located on the bottom, that gray kind of matte finish carries along. So they've done some sort of coating there. It almost feels like a soft touch plastic or something. But we have, of course, our brand new S Pen here. Not much has changed on the S Pen from the Galaxy Note 3. Right here you have your rear speaker, your flash, your heart rate monitor, and this also measures the amount of oxygen in your blood, which is kind of cool. And then here we have that brand new 16 megapixel rear camera. You have right on the right hand side your sleep wake button, and that is aluminum. On the left hand side you have your volume up and down, again aluminum. And then right here at the top we have our IR blaster, one of the secondary mics, your 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, and here at the bottom we actually have two more mics. And then let's go ahead and pop this battery cover off. So as you can see, here's that giant battery that it comes with, and let me refresh my memory here on the specs. I want to say it's a 3200 milliamp, but give me just a moment. I don't want to quote this wrong. It is a 3220 milliamp hour battery, and it is removable. Of course, you have your SIM card, your micro SD card slot up to 128 gigs. And then you have all these funky little buttons and ports and everything. Now, what those are used for are for the different accessories. So if you're like me and you've picked up maybe the S-View wallet, as you can see, it has a couple of pins here on the back that attach there that allow you to have that S-View cover. Now also some of these are used for the QI charging back plate. So let's go ahead and snap this back on. Again, that back is that flexible plastic that we've seen from Samsung. But once you've snapped it on and make sure everything is seated, they've done a very nice job of seaming that plastic with that aluminum, and once they're together it has a very nice premium feel, and I definitely like the way that that aluminum feels as opposed to all the plastic bezel that Samsung has used in the past. Now on the very front we have our forward-facing kind of a wide-angle camera. Now one of the cool features with this, you can actually take wide-angle selfies, so you can actually take a selfie kind of like that, and it'll actually make kind of a panoramic selfie, which is pretty cool. Of course, your home button does have your fingerprint scanner built into it, so you can do your thumbprint for locking and unlocking. Then of course we have our recent button and our back. On the lock screen, not a lot has changed there from the Galaxy S5 or the Note 3. We have, of course, our clock notification. We have our camera shortcut, so if we flick right up on that, it'll take us directly into the camera. So let's go home. Now, I personally am not using the TouchWiz launcher. That's one of the great things about Android and this Note 4 is that if you don't like the stock launcher, you can change it. Now, I personally like Nova. Now, I got this phone on launch day on the 17th, and I've been out of town for about 10 days on vacation. And I used this phone that entire time. I went to Universal Studios in Florida, to the beach and stuff, and takes some fantastic video and photos. I was very impressed with the image stabilization on the videos and on the battery life. Now, I just returned home. I've been in the car about 16 hours driving. And if you look right here, I have 1 day, 4 hours, 28 minutes on this battery. And if you look, I'm at 57%. Now, I haven't got a lot of screen on time. I've got, as you can see here, about 1 hour and 16 minutes of screen on time. So that's not a lot of screen on time, but just in normal standby, you know, checking email and stuff like that over the past day and 4 hours, I'm still at 57%. So on my vacation, while using this to take lots of photos, lots of videos, you could really use this phone and get through a day and a half to 2 days, depending on your use. Now, if you're an extreme heavy user, you still will not have any problems getting through a full day's charge. Now, of course, we have our Samsung pull-down menu that we've seen in the past with our quick shortcuts up here, our brightness slider. We can slide over here, make some more adjustments, touch that. We've got all of our panel. Again, touch the little pencil. We can go in here and move everything around. Now, one thing a lot of people have asked me, well, if you don't use the stock launcher, you lose your functionality of the S Pen, and that's simply not true. So if I pull my S Pen out here, as you can see, I still have my air command, so I can go over here to my action menu, my smart select, my image clipper, my screen write, all of that I have access to, and even the little, I don't know if it'll show up on camera, but when you're using the stylus, it puts a little circle on the screen, and I'm going to try to see if I can't maybe bring this up here closer to the camera. See that there, the circle still works on the secondary launcher. Everything works. You can access everything, even your air view. So if I go into gallery, now I do have a different icon pack that I use, but it's the same applications. I've just changed some of the icons. So all of those things work without a problem right out of the box using a secondary launcher. So you're not stuck to the TouchWiz launcher that comes pre-installed on the Note 4, which I really like. I'm a big fan of Nova Launcher. I tend to use it on all of my phones. So let's go ahead and scroll down here to About Phone. So if we go here to About Device, as you can see, this is running Android version 4.4.4. So we don't have, of course, Lollipop because it hasn't been released yet, but we have 4.4.4, so it's a great version of Android. Again, you can go into your developer options. You have your application manager, and one of the nice things, this is a locked bootloader from AT&T, so you know you can't get it rooted right now, and you can't remove those applications. But you know, if that bloatware or the applications that AT&T pre-installs bothers you, you can go in here and disable all of these applications. As you can see, these are applications that I personally don't use. I don't use the Milk from Samsung. These are applications I don't use, so I just turn them off. Once you've turned them off, you don't have any problems. One of the really nice things is this Note 4 has so much storage that it doesn't bother me that those are still eating up some of my storage. Because if I come right down here to storage, as you can see, this is 32 gigs of internal storage, and I have about 20 gigs free. I have a 64 gig SD card, as you can see right there, and I have 41 gigs free. So all in all, it is a great phone. I'm going to run through some of the specs for you guys here real quick. Now, it does have, again, like I mentioned, a 3220 milliamp hour battery. Now, according to Samsung, that'll give you up to 23.7 hours of talk time and up to 14.5 days of standby. Now, I think where they're getting that standby time from is if you come over here and put in ultimate power save mode, and I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. Now, you saw I had 57% battery before turning that on. So once that fully turns on, it's going to give me kind of a number of days that I could continue to use this phone in that ultimate power save mode. Now, basically what that ultimate power save mode does is it takes your screen, turns it black and white, dims your screen down, but it's still readable because it's black and white. And since it is a AMOLED display, it doesn't use power to produce black. So that's a real good way of taking the phone and extending that battery life. So as you can see, I can still go to my phone, my messages, my internet, contacts. So you can see right here with the battery power I have, I can squeeze 10.2 days out of this phone. So if I come right up here and we can turn that back off, So once you lock it, so then you can unlock it, you've lost all of your wallpapers, all of the frills basically. It's just the basic necessities to survive. But we can go ahead and we can turn that mode off. And then once you turn it off, it's going to go back to normal just like it was. You'll have access to everything. That is a great option if maybe you're taking a flight or you know for the next 2 days you're not going to be at the point where you're going to access power. You can turn that mode on and extend the battery life. Really cool option. Now this does have the brand new Snapdragon 805 clocked at 2.7 gigahertz, and it is a quad core. It does have 3 gigs of RAM, but here's the really cool part. This display is absolutely phenomenal. It is 5.7 Quad HD Super AMOLED. It is 2560 by 1440. That gives you an enormous 515 pixels per inch. And this does have that kind of bright sunlight mode. If you're familiar with the S5 Active or the S5, when you take this out into sunlight, it kind of does this funky thing with the contrast to where it's actually readable in direct sunlight, which I think is really cool. You can take this phone out in direct sunlight and read it. Because a lot of phones you can't do that with. So that kind of gives you guys an idea of the way I have my Note 4 set up. Now stay tuned, I do have some other reviews coming. Like I said, I have some cases. Here's the Spigen that I picked up for it. Right now I do have a screen protector installed. It's the iCar-Ease. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but these are some great screen protectors for the money. I'll also be doing a full review on the S-View cover that I picked up at my local AT&T store, and this thing is really sweet, but I'll get into that a little more on a later review. Now, one of the last things I wanted to show you guys is size. Now, this phone's been sitting here on my desk by itself, and it is a large phone. We're in that realm of a phablet. You know, 5.7-inch screen is a big phone. To give you an idea of just how big, this here is my 64 gig OnePlus One. It has a 5.5-inch screen, so I'm going to set that up here right next to it. So as you can see, they're both about the same height. The Samsung's a little bit taller, but it's quite a bit wider. If I can show this on video, as you can see right there, that Note 4 is quite a bit wider. So that's it compared to the OnePlus One. Now here is my AT&T LG G3. It's by far one of the smallest 5.5-inch phones, and again, it's 5.5-inch with a Quad HD screen as well, but it is not Super AMOLED. That's where this Note 4 really shines. The screen is just a little bit bigger. The phone, of course, is quite a bit bigger, but the display is just beautiful. That Super AMOLED is just a gorgeous display, and I've been very impressed with it. So that kind of gives you guys a quick idea of the size of that Note 4. And that has been my AT&T Samsung Galaxy Note 4, and this has been Roger with iGadgetGeek.